Hi, I have got some problems, or at least some things I want to talk through, and they are to do with the June 1st releases. First of all, I've been asked on various platforms what my opinions are on Barad-Dûr, because we all know I like me some Lord of the Rings. Well, I can summarise them. It's cool, I'm not paying £400. Anyway, I can break that down quickly because I feel like I owe you my thoughts. So here we go. We'll start with part 1 of this video, which is my thoughts on Barad-Dûr. When the official images were released on May 14th, which is quite a few days ago now, I genuinely thought it looked really cool. I thought it was sensible that there would have been a micro-scale exterior, but like minifigure scenes inside, because Barad-Dûr is like ginormous. It's bigger than the Burj Khalifa, so you can't really do that in minifigure scale. So I feel like that made sense. Also, when we saw leaks like nearly over a year ago, I think, it was a micro scale building, so I was kind of expecting it to be micro scale. That didn't take me by surprise. I had very high hopes for the figures, especially Sauron, because I felt like he's the star of the show, like they have to get him right. And my hopes were very much for like ideally a very detailed Sauron that ideally would have long legs and long arms, because this chap is meant to be like a giant, at least in the depiction that we see him in this set. So he is not a normal man. He is very tall, like normal man size, I mean. So I was hoping that he would look impressive. That didn't come true, so that was a shame. However, I think that his figure objectively looks cool. I think the helmet and the shoulder pads are cool. I think the mouth of Sauron looks cool. Very similar to the version we've seen previously, but cool. I think Gollum is a cool redesign. I think the orcs are cool. But all of these things together, all I kept thinking about, this set is £400. Now, with anything else in my life, if I were to spend £400, I have to have a darn good reason to spend it, because that is not normal money. And really, the only thing I spend £400 on are like car repairs that I don't plan, that just happen. So, you know, £400 is a very large amount of money to me, and I felt at the time that Rivendell was justified because that set is one of my favourite locations, one of my favourite movies. The shape of it meant that I could display it. The figures were new and I was absolutely thrilled. They had the whole fellowship. There was a lot I really, really liked about Rivendell that overcame my sort of like hesitation with the price. Whereas this one, Barad-Dûr is not a location that's particularly interesting to me. The characters are not things that I'm particularly interested in. I'm never really been that fussed about the orcs. I just don't really need a whole army of them. So there was just a lot of things in this set that weren't super interesting. When I found out that Sam and Frodo were in the set, I was like, okay, that could be really cool. But then I found out that they obviously have the same torsos as in Rivendell, so I was like, well, I know, before you come at me, I know they're especially moulded helmets, okay, I know. But their torsos are still the same as in Rivendell. I was expecting them to be in their tattered, dirty clothes when they're crawling through Mordor or when they're going up Mount Doom. You know, that really like worn out look that we see in the movies, and they had the same as in Rivendell, and that kind of made me go, oh, okay, those are the two characters I was mostly interested in outside of like Sauron and maybe the mouth of Sauron. So they're not new, so I don't really need them. Yes, there's some cool molds in the set, there's some great stickers. I think the designers have poured so much love into the set. I think there is so many amazing Easter eggs. I absolutely adore the banners. I adore like all of the like little meats back on the menu Easter eggs and stuff. I do not argue with the fact that the people that designed this have done a splendid job, and I was absolutely sure that they would do. I feel like the people at the head of the Lord of the Rings sets are just pouring so much passion into these sets, and you can really tell. So I don't think for me it was ever about, is it a good enough set? Like, yes, the set was going to be good. To me, it was just a value proposition of like, how attached I am to this location, can I display it somewhere, do I want to display it somewhere, and do I feel like I want to spend the money? And ultimately, I don't think I do. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to have FOMO, like people are going to be buying this set and it's going to be a great experience, it's going to be such a fun build, there's going to be so many like fun things, but to me, I just can't justify spending £400, and that makes me sad, but also kind of relieved, because the fact that I don't feel compelled to buy it makes me feel sort of like lifted a little burden. It just became so obvious to me that I don't really feel like I'm second guessing myself. And I think every argument for buying it still comes down to me to the fact of I just can't justify to myself to spend £400 on a Lego set, especially, and this is going to go into point number 2, when there's going to be so many cool other sets coming out. I think Lego has kind of got an uphill battle with this time because they're releasing Barad-Dûr on June 1st, and we know that June 1st, next to January 1st, is the biggest Lego release day of the year. Like loads of themes of new sets, and they are so strong and beautiful this year. And I have frankly been overwhelmed by the amount of things coming out, and I have to say Lego is doing a great job at designing them, making them look really modern and like polished, and really like making sure that every theme has like just really good looking sets. I've been particularly blown away by the monkey kit lineup. I don't think I'm going to buy any of them, however that mech is beautiful. I think the temple is super eye-catching, and I really think the value for money you're getting with the monkey kit is insane. There is like so many cool city sets that I really love. I'm just gonna put some stuff on the screen here as I'm talking because there is just so many things that caught my eye. Obviously, yes, I saw the Legolas and Gimli brickheads. I will buy them because obviously I'm going to buy them. I think they're great. But ultimately, I really feel because there's so much cool stuff coming out at a lower price point, as well as a super expensive Barad-Dûr, you have to make a decision because you can't get all of it. Which kind of takes me on to my next point, which is I'm overwhelmed by the releases. Okay, a few caveats up front. These are my thoughts. So they are coming out as I'm thinking them. Will I, at the end of this video, think I could have said more, or more clearly, or differently, or not said everything I wanted to say? Yes, there is going to be things like that. But also I felt like I just wanted to talk to you about these things openly and not worry about scripting, because I think scripting can take away the sincerity of the conversation. So I hope that you can listen to this and take this for just my thoughts that I'm thinking in this moment, that I haven't really, ordered in a numbered list. I'm sorry, internet. We're all being sensible here. We don't have to buy these June 1st or never again. It's not a either or situation. A lot of these sets are going to go on discount, especially the Friends and City sets. I'm aware of this, of course. We are all aware of this. But there is this rush of excitement around June 1st. There are so many shiny new things, and it's really fun to get swept up by that. But I feel like, again, the reality unfortunately hits with, ultimately, I need to pay for these things. And where do my priorities lie? I own an ungodly amount of Lego. This is not normal. This is outrageous. The only way I have been able to do this is because I make videos about my Lego, and that allows me to buy a set every month, which I don't think is necessarily realistic for everybody. So that position allows me to seriously consider what I want to buy on June 1st. And really, as I continue to do this hobby more and more and more, I feel like it's more important to me to get the sets that genuinely spark joy, and the sets that spark joy are changing over time. So really, and I'm gonna reveal my favourite set that I've seen for the June 1st wave, so hold on to your horses. But my favourite set that I was genuinely surprised and blown away by, and also feel like I could justify the money, is the bed and breakfast of Friends. A lot of you are going to be like, but why? It's £90, first of all. £90 is a lot of money, but looking at anything else that costs £90, I really feel this set holds up. It has so many cute details. I really love the shape of it. It looks a really ingenious build. I would love to modularize it. So not only is it a cool set, it also is a cool project, which is something that I tend to look for in sets now, because building them is super fun, but then making them your own and making like something else with them, enabling you to do another project, is even more fun, because that kind of means that you get two uses out of the set. Like, I love the Lego truck that's coming out with the city line. I think it's brilliant. But the Lego truck is also £90, and I don't have a road big enough to accommodate a Lego truck. So a truck would sit on top of one of my display cases, out of the way, as a display piece only. I would not mock it, I would not do anything with it. So effectively I'm paying £90 for a bunch of Lego pallets because it's really fun to own stickered Lego boxes. Does that feel like good value? Not really, I'm gonna be honest. doesn't really feel like good value at all. So I don't really feel like I want to spend £90 on that, but this building, this is both allowing me to have a really fun new build with possibly new techniques that I can learn from, as well as giving me a project. It feels much more worth it to me. And also I really feel like when you sit out a release day, or at least partially sit out a release day, the hype goes away and you have a much clearer way to think about if it's worth it to you. As I said, a lot of the sets are on offer. When we cast our mind back to our previous release day, like I think it was March 1st. Was it March 1st? When all the Harry Potter sets came out, I was hyped. I thought they were really good. I was really excited with the direction that LEGO was going in for Harry Potter. I really loved Hagrid's hat, but I didn't want to spend £65 on Hagrid's hat. And now, a few months on, it's going to be on offer. I've seen it for 20% off, I've seen it for 25% off. It's just going to be one of those things because LEGO have a relatively high turnover rate. Sets will go on discount after a few months. So if you could wait out the initial rush of excitement, which is really fun to get swept up in, you can get way better deals later on. Anyway, where I'm going with this is ultimately you and I need to pay for these sets. And that money needs to come from somewhere. And it's much more exciting to buy it on day one and kind of go a bit nuts because it's also like a bit exciting because everybody's like getting new stuff and you gotta, ooh, that's fun. Let's share it with my friends online and like it's really exciting. I totally get it. But also I just don't feel as time goes on that I can justify LEGO to myself as much anymore. Let's have a really boring real life moment here for a minute. Life is getting expensive. I know this is a experience most of us have. This is not new. For a while now, bills have been going up. Because of COVID being over, you can now travel again, so you probably want to go on vacation. There are just many things that you want to do with the money that's becoming increasingly limited because stuff is just expensive. Like, I feel like my food shop is probably about 25% more expensive than it used to be, even though I'm sort of roughly buying the same stuff. That is a significant increase, and though every single little bit is not that much, altogether I can really feel it. And LEGO is not a necessity. With the price point that LEGO charges for their products, which they don't owe me affordability, they don't have to make it cheaper. I like that they have quality and they better stick to the quality level they're on and maybe even improve a little bit, but they don't owe me cheap products. What I have to decide though is, am I willing to pay what they charge? And increasingly the answer is no. I'm really sorry, I love their products, I think it's great. My reason for collecting LEGO over other products is because it's not just the item, it's you can do things with the item to make it something new. And I think collecting anything, that is kind of the most exciting thing to me, because I like Funko Pops for example, but you buy them and you put them on a shelf and that's it. Whereas with LEGO you can keep playing with it, changing it, making it your own. Like, there's so many more dimensions to the hobby. Like, but also there is a price tag. And sometimes it just means taking a step back and going, actually, do I want this? Like, yes, the hype is real right now and I would love this LEGO set, but in 3 months' time, will I say that was worth it? I'll probably have forgotten about the pain of how much it cost. But would I be like, oh, this set that's now gathering dust on my shelf, that is still filling me with joy. And I don't know if it does. This city I love. I think it's fantastic. Every single time I've been overwhelmed with LEGO, I'm not sure if I've been just absolutely stupid and spent ridiculous amounts of money on plastic bricks. When I see my city, I feel very protective of it. It's something that I've crafted, I care about, and I can't see myself getting rid of. Individual sets I have different feelings about. So now, every single time I release, I just have to do a lot of reality checks with myself, and that's probably why the content of this channel is slowing down, because I can't justify to myself spending like £300 on a LEGO set when I can only go on holiday every few years because every year is too expensive. It's the priorities that are changing for me, and increasingly my priorities are, I just want to spend time with friends, I want to be able to have fun building, and the things that I enjoy most about the LEGO hobby are building and just playing around. And the problem is those projects take a long time because I don't necessarily always have a direction. So I will kind of start and then over time it will morph into something. And that's not as interesting for you guys to watch because not much happens in like a week, say, so I can't really make weekly videos. Effectively what I'm saying is, I will be buying some things on June 1st, but I don't think that's going to be many, and I'm going to be very sensible about it. Will I treat myself to the occasional Lego set when they're on a good offer? Absolutely, yes. Am I also being more sensible and really making sure that I don't get swept up in the hype, but really check with myself if it's worth it and do a cost comparison and check if I just feel comfortable spending that money? Absolutely, because you have to. And this is maybe the worst video I could make because it's not exciting. It's really boring to talk about reality, but I feel like it's cool to see all these new sets and all these reviews and shiny new things, but at the end of the day, it's our money and we get to control how we spend that. And if we spend it on the one or two things that we like, they're going to be much dearer to us than more. It's hard. It's a weird balance to find myself in, but increasingly Lego is becoming a thing that I worry about, and I don't want to worry about it. I used to buy something and feel so much joy and so much excitement, and I don't want to have a guilty feeling when I buy something because I don't want to feel like I ought not to spend the money because that doesn't feel good. So really just making sure, checking with myself if I feel comfortable spending it, and very importantly for me, where am I going to put it? Because if I don't know where I'm going to put it, then yes, it's fun to build, but what next? Lego is not cheap. I want to be very mindful about what I do. And I know that's incredibly rich coming from a person that sits in front of like the most outrageous amount of Lego, but I think it's still important to say. This is not like a, oh, woe is me, life is expensive, how unfair. No, not at all. It's just more like I'm trying to take charge of my expenses in this way because I have to. I have no choice. I can't just spend like a maniac. I wish I could, that'd be really fun, but I am the one that has to pay the bills at the end of the day, and that comes with a certain level of responsibility. Everybody of us have a different comfort level and a different way of spending. What I am saying though, and this is going really broad, so here we go, gosh, tangent. I should start a podcast really, but as much as they are jokes, saying like, oh my god, my credit card debt is out of control, or like that kind of stuff, I know that half the time they're jokes. Sometimes I feel like people probably are overspending when they don't have the money, and I don't think any amount of plastic bricks is worth going into debt for or like stretching yourself financially, because ultimately it's a thing that's ought to give you joy and fun. It's not gonna solve your problems. I'm being so boring, I'm so sorry, but I just really want to have an open conversation about this, and I am not blaming anybody and I'm not blaming Lego. I don't think any of these people are to blame. They can do what they like. It's my actions that I control and your actions that you control. So you get to choose what is worth it for you, what is important to you. And I think that we do that in a lot of things all the time. So how are you feeling about the Lego hobby at the moment? How are you prioritizing? What is important to you? And I feel like we're holding Lego to a really high standard now because to us, we're spending luxury prices on these things. So obviously we're going to be critical about things. We're not going to be easily pleased. If I could do this and make Lego 50% more cheaper, I would totally do that for sure. That'd be great. But I just really would love to have an open conversation with you where it's like polite to each other and just thoughts, because I think we're all dealing with it. And I've tried to make a video like this a lot of times. Sometimes it's been heavier, sometimes they've been lighter, but I never really feel like I find the right words. And I'm sure once I'm editing this, I don't feel like I'll set the right words, or I could have said more, but I still want to start this conversation. So I may as well put this video out there, combined with the Barad-Dûr thoughts and what I'm buying for June 1st. I've not 100% decided what I'm buying for June 1st. I may go to the Lego store and buy something. I may not. I may order something online, I may not. But that's where I'm at with Lego. I'm working on projects, you can kind of see some behind me, but they are not to be revealed because they're going to literally take months to put together because buying bricks is expensive. I've been working on this amazing mock by James, which I absolutely adore, and yes, it's nearly finished, but it's taking me from January till now to even get close to it being finished, and that's just the reality of when you have to buy your own bricks. And it's insane because I own a ludicrous amount of bricks and I still have to just scatter it that way because it's still costing hundreds of pounds. So anyway, that's a really long meandering talk. Thank you so much for listening to my huge ramble. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm excited for June 1st. There's a lot of cool stuff coming out. If I don't buy some of the sets, I may still look at the building instructions and possibly build some stuff out of my own bricks, because there's a few things that, you know, interior builds of things that I may just integrate. Or like, for example, there's a train station coming out. I really want the station build, but I don't think I'll buy the whole set because I don't need a tram. So I may just look at the building instructions and build the train station from my own bricks, which I think is a huge tip for anybody that doesn't want to buy the sets but has been collecting Lego for a while that may have bricks, check building instructions. They are free. Build them with Durabricks. It's such a way to have a really fun time building something new with instructions, but still not spending money. Anyway, that is all I'm going to say because I could go on forever. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I'm really excited to hear from you all, and yeah, thank you for being here and thank you for going on a journey with me. See you later.